Alright, we're looking at this Sigravy SGEL01. This, I've blown right through the unboxing of this because there's just not much to it. I pulled it out of the box. I put the handlebars on up here. I got to put these 4 screws in to hold the handlebars in place, but everything that was in the box is as such. We've got a 1.5 amp charger, a little Allen tool, user manual, and the screws that I mentioned before. Alright, we're taking a look today at the Sigravy G1. As you can see, I've got it folded up now, and unfolding it is as easy as hitting this release clip right here, folding the handlebars up, and then clipping this lock mechanism, and then to fold it back into place, you push this red button to unlock it, push this forward, that'll drop the handlebars. Then you've got this little clip here to hook it in place on the back fender here. And then you can just grab the bar and carry it as normal. First off, it's a very small scooter, which does add to the portability factor, but as far as if you're a bigger person, I wear a size 10 or 11 depending on what brand. This is a size 11 in New Balance, so there's how big the standing board is. If I put my feet sideways, I'm going to have a fairly comfortable ride, but if I put them straight on, I'm not going to be able to get both feet on the board. It is a 36 volt battery, 7.8 amp hours, and it has a 350 watt front wheel drive motor. And both wheels on this scooter are hard rubber, so you never have to worry about flats, and you never have to worry about airing them up. But it is going to contribute to a harder, stiffer ride. And speaking of a harder, stiffer ride, you can see there's no suspension anywhere on this scooter. This is a cheap entry-level scooter, but as far as it goes, it is built pretty well. Right here we've got our charge port, and this did ship with a 100% charge. As for our controls up top, we've got a brake lever here. This is our clip for hooking onto the fender back there when you fold the scooter. We've got a bell, not a very good one. This is our screen, I'll go over that later, and this is our throttle when the scooter is turned on. As you can see, we don't have turn signals, but I'm going to turn the scooter on now. We do have a headlight. I wouldn't trust that to see much in the dark. And we do have a tail light. Does it function as a brake light as well? It does. It flashes as a brake light when we pull the lever. And in the back here, we've got a drum brake. As for our controls up top, we've got a power button here. You long press to turn the scooter on and off. Tap it once to turn the headlight on and off. Tap it again to turn it back on. Double tap to go through the modes. We're in sport mode right now. I've switched to eco with a double tap. D mode. And then back to sport mode. And as you can see here, we've got 5 bars on our battery. Okay, so this is the Vicont app. You can download this in the Play Store for Android. I don't think this is available for iOS, but anyway, once you get the scooter connected, you've got some different options here where you can use the app to turn like the headlight on and off. You can turn kickstart on and off, and with kickstart on, this is actually counterintuitive, but with kickstart on, you don't have to kick to start the scooter. It is just a like a 0 start here. So if I tap the scooter throttle there, it takes off. If I turn that off, when I tap the throttle, nothing happens. I would have to kick it first to get it started. So again, kickstart is named counterintuitively. So I'm going to turn kickstart on because I like 0 start on a scooter. Cruise control, you can turn that on or off. And when you attain a specific speed for a few seconds, the scooter is most likely going to beep, and then it'll hold that speed for you and you won't have to hold the throttle. And then we've got our lock feature. If I turn lock on, you see P comes up on the scooter. Now if I try to move it, it's going to push back on me and I'm not able to, it's beeping and giving warnings that I'm trying to steal the scooter. So then to unlock the scooter, we just hit the lock button again and we can see that we're back. We've got our speedometer back and we're back in a normal operating mode. This app does have like a sport dashboard here, so you can track more stuff and have a cooler looking speedometer and things like that. And we've got looks like a map here, and it's got a map, but it doesn't look like it's working. So that's the app. Let's take this thing down the road and see what it can do. All right, we're going to take the scooter down the bike path today, and we're going to go down about 3.5 miles down and 3.5 miles back and see where our battery life is at after the end of the ride. I guess it'd help if I turn the scooter on. First, we're going to start off going through some gravel here. This being a 350 watt motor with hard wheels, I don't expect it's going to handle this big gravel too well, but here we go. Not great, but better than I thought it would. Into the grass here, and I do have cruise control turned on, so we just heard the cruise beep, and it's not doing great through the grass. I'm hoping it does a lot better once we get on the pavement up here. We got a very minor incline of a hill there on grass, and the scooter kind of pootered out. So on the pavement here, it's doing a lot better, but I am in eco mode. It capped out at 8 miles per hour, and our cruise control did kick in. I'm going to let off the throttle and test that out. That seems to be working just fine. And if you don't like that beep, you can always turn cruise control off in the app for this scooter. Let's put it over in D mode now and see what we can get up to. Looks like it's capped out at about 11 miles per hour. So now let's test out sport mode. Here we go. Sport mode. It looks like it's capped out at about 16 miles per hour, but we do have wind in our face, and I should have mentioned this sooner, but I weigh 200 pounds. Cruise control is on. All right, so that's everything that I can show you about this scooter at this point. We're going to continue the ride and go down 3.5 miles, turn around, come back, 3.5 miles back, and see where we're at 7 miles on this trip for our range test. We do have a rough spot coming up here, so I'll go over the suspension or lack thereof when we go over that spot. But as far as it goes, this is everything that the Sigravy G1 has to offer. As far as my initial impressions for the Sigravy G1 scooter, I'm going to say that this thing is a bit small and lacking in power. That does make it nice for portability, but as far as if you're wanting a powerhouse, this is just not it. I weigh 200 pounds. It's carrying me along at 16 miles per hour max. Normally, I would do these range tests in like D mode, and that's where 16 miles per hour, 15, 16 is going to be like your middle ground. 16 is where this thing caps out at. So that's going to be good for saving battery life. It's going to give you a lot better range because you're not burning through so much speed so fast. But I would say that because this scooter is kind of small, it's going to be a good scooter for, say, like a small middle school kid or maybe even younger. The handlebar height comes up to about my waist, a little bit under my waist, and I am 5'10", so there's no adjustment on that. That's basically the size that you're stuck with. So it's definitely a scooter that is aimed more towards smaller people rather than bigger people. And I think a kid is going to have a lot of fun on this, and a parent is not going to be too worried about their kids getting hurt on this scooter. But I would advise that you make your kids wear a helmet anyway. Being a grown man of like average height and probably average foot size, I will say that I am a little bit cramped on this board, and I am standing with my feet both sideways on this board. But standing sideways does make for a somewhat comfortable ride. Alright, this is the bumpiest part of the ride, and as I mentioned, this scooter has no suspension, so we're going to go over it and see how this feels. Oh, boy, yeah! This scooter is definitely built for smooth paved roads. When you hit a bump, you feel it. Alright, so my final thoughts on the Sigravy G1. Well, it's small, it's rough riding, it doesn't have a lot of power, so it's going to be a good safe scooter for a smaller person, but a bigger person is going to be wanting more. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, but be sure to stick around till the end of the video if you want to see the results of the range test. Oh my God, that was a rough bump. Alright, we are down here at the halfway point. I've come 3.5 miles. We've dropped 1 bar out of 5. I'm going to ride back 3.5 miles, and we're going to see where our power meter is at when I get back. So I just discovered this in the app. If you go down here to vehicle setup, to DIY performance settings, we can change the maximum torque and maximum speed of the vehicle, and I can take it up to 19.26 miles per hour. That's as high as we're allowed to take it there. We can change the starting torque, driving maximum torque, and electromagnetic brake strength setting. So let's try that and see how it goes. I will say that on the ride back, with the wind in my face and with the voltage sag on this bike, I was only hitting about 14 miles per hour max. We're going to see if it makes any difference. It was set at like 18. I bumped it up to 19, so we're going to see where we're at now. And I just bumped up the torque, and I do not want to hit that gap with this suspension. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, sorry about that. Alright, so I set up the maximum torque on takeoff and on maximum speed, and honestly, I don't feel any real difference to speak of. So, bummer. We're going to continue the ride to go back now over these bumps, and then we're going to see where we're at for our final range. Okay, so I will say, as far as top speed goes, after making that change, I am getting about 1, maybe 2 more miles per hour out of the vehicle's top speed, but again, it's only capping out at 15 now. Sometimes it peaks up at 16, and where it was with the voltage sag hitting 14. So it did make a little bit of a difference bumping those settings up, but not much. Alright, we are coming up on the end of the ride now. We've almost completed our full 7 miles, and I've done most of the ride at top speed, and again, I weigh 200 pounds. So we're gonna come up here. Let me get through this gravel before I continue talking. Cut through the grass, and then we'll check out the results of our final range test. Alright, we are back to the beginning. This is 7 miles exactly. We got 2 bars out of 5 left. I weigh 200 pounds. I rode the scooter pretty much at top speed the entire time, and that's where we're at. It's a 350 watt motor with a 36 volt 7.8 amp hour battery. So I'd say with 2 more bars, it'd probably take us maybe another 3 miles. So you can expect about 10 miles out of this bike, maybe 12 if you're much lighter weight than I am. If you rode it the way I did today, if you go into a lower mode, it's definitely going to take you further. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.